Hi there, Aries. Welcome to your April 2025 General Tarot reading. It's Raina here. So we're going to look at the month of April. My intention is to do a love reading also by the time April rolls around. So keep your eyes open for that if that's something that interests you. Very interesting. I kind of have an idea of what. I'm going to pick an additional card here. Okay. So, all right. So, what do we got here? The heart of the matter is the Queen of Cups, and this is a card that is you can see the water. This is like double water. Queen is water, Cups is water. And that can really speak to psychic sensitivity, that activity in the 12th house for Aries people. All that, I'm recording this during the beginning of Aries season, but there's still that Pisces energy, Neptune and Saturn. And both are going to be going into your sign Aries, but you might have been dealing with a lot of 12th house stuff because that can be like karmic issues. What do they call it? Like when you have stuff that you're trying to just close out on, old matters. I can't think of the name. We just say like, stuff that needs to be unfinished business. That's what I meant to say. And actually the card that talks about the past position is the Hermit. So you might have been hermiting lately with all that action in the 12th house, including the sun. So that can make you very sensitive and even self-protective, but there might be other things going on because we have, as the higher message, the card that's associated with anxiety, the Nine of Swords. So whether there is a situational problem or whether you're just really feeling things so intensely for whatever reason, this may have been leaving you less than your typical, for lack of a better word, ballsy self. And actually, when Neptune goes into your sign, I think that's going to temper some of that, even like false bravado of Aries that tends to be very cocky. But, if you're sun in Aries, you might have inner planets in Pisces or in some, with your moon sign, it could be any water sign. And you might automatically be a sensitive soul. And yet you're always being told, oh no, you're in Aries, you're just like, so whatever. and that it's like, it makes you a tough guy, but you have that side to you all the time. But there might be something in particular that is, I think it is like astrological influences, to be honest with you, because, with the Queen of Cups, you might be feeling those unseen forces, especially now. And what crosses you is the Seven of Wands. So if you have been either defensive, like I would say especially defensive for no reason, or there might be a few Aries people out there who are totally just completely letting their guard down or letting themselves kind of be walked all over. I don't see why that would be the case. For most Aries people, that isn't going to be the case, but there are always outliers when we talk about the different signs. There are people that don't seem to resemble their signs. But when I do private readings, I can always see, like if I'm doing chart readings, I can see that somebody has, maybe they have their sun in the 12th house, and so they're not as extroverted as the astrologers make them out to be. There's so many things that can go on like that. And what's coming in is the Temperance card. This is a card associated with Sagittarius, and it really asks of you to look at what kind of emphasis you're giving to life. Do you tend to be more of a materialist, and that's this kind of an earth angel, and she's got one foot on the land, and that's the earth, or the water, the spiritual, one foot in the water. So the best way to be is to be a combination of both, so that you're kind of like, it's like a balance between one and the other. And some people, they just kind of, like you've been more of the spiritual lately, but perhaps that has brought up anxiety within you, because Aries people are not the most introspective out of all the signs, that's for sure, because you're a very action oriented person. And it's really good to have that time of solitude, and it's good to look within, but you could get kind of scared looking within if you haven't been doing so until recently. You might be a little bit startled about what is coming up for you. And therefore, um, in those cases, you have to balance the material with the spiritual. Don't try to go from one extreme to the other, because we are living in this world. Even if you are like the hermit and you spend time in solitude, you're still living in the world among other people. And so it doesn't mean that you can never be around other people if you're kind of keeping to yourself during your hermit time. Uh, the outcome, I did pick an additional card, is the Three of Swords, and this is a card of feeling rejected. Sometimes this can be a card of like a three-party situation, like a love triangle. And I was even thinking, with the Queen of Cups, that's a card of psychic ability, or really tuning into your intuition. And the Hermit is a card of solitude, but it's also connected to Virgo. So if there's like some Virgo person, but in addition to that, like if you, let's say you, I don't know, are separated from someone. Sometimes when I see the Hermit, if this is like some relationship, it could be that you have, as the hippie New Agers call it, taken space, so that you're kind of like having your own um, space away from the primary relationship so you can get your head straight. Well, that could mean that, but in your heart that that person is cheating, even if they're lying to you. Three of Swords could be like really coming to terms with that. And, Nine of Swords can be kind of like when people kind of internalize it, and because they're in denial or they just don't want to deal with it. And that's why I picked a clarification card, and we have the Ace of Swords, and this is like that clarity, mental clarity, which I always, it's funny that it's under the Queen of Cups. I always think of that card when somebody is finally coming out of some sort of denial, and they're able to kind of take action, maybe in a new direction, because they realize that something is what they thought it was or what they felt it was. And but it's all, I would say too, with the Three of Swords, like what kind of stories are you telling yourself? Even if something like that did happen, doesn't mean anything against you, doesn't mean that you're not desirable or a good person or what have you, or is it somebody else's issues and their insecurities? So realizing that as well is important so that you don't make it into something that it's not. So anyway, that's what I have for you, Aries. I hope that you resonate with this in some way. Maybe it's in another area of your life. Maybe it's in a work-related area. Not getting a promotion and feeling like, um, like with the Hermit cards, you may be like changing even your goals in life and becoming more into the spiritual. And so all of these things begin to kind of fall away. Like you realize, also, yeah, I mean, it's important to know, like, as I was saying, like, Nine of Swords, like if you have anxiety and maybe you want to be a healer, like the Queen of Cups, and you're dealing with this worldly stuff, Three of Swords can be cutting something off to the quick or at the quick or however that saying goes. Where it's like making a clean break so that you're not back and forth with something. And so that can include your work and other areas of life, your private life. Yeah, so that's what I have for you. I hope that this resonated. If you'd like a private reading, the link is below. Thanks for watching. Bye.